Welcome back, everyone. We all know these lovely ladies for their collective expertise in the worlds of DIY, fashion, food, lifestyle, and so much more. They are also both moms, and they've recently joined forces to help other mommies out there navigate the unique waters of parenting through their new podcast, MOMHOOD, which is so awesome. Please welcome to our home our very own Orly Shani and one of our besties in the world, Brandi Milloy.
Welcome, guys. It's weird to say welcome. You know what I mean?
Weird.
I mean, Orly's just passing through the living room.
Well,
Thanks
and
for stopping
Brandi's
by.
always here, too.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta say, this is the coolest thing. Thank you so much for having us sit here. I watch you guys every time do these interviews, and I just feel like you pull out all the nuggets and all the info, and I can't wait for you to pull the nuggets and the info.
You are now
I'm very excited.
excited. You know what? You ladies are doing the same thing, pulling out the nuggets and the info of other fellow moms in your new podcast, which is so great. I love MOMHOOD. And the truth is, you guys got together to do this because there are so many different ways to the top of the mountain for moms. We all don't mom the same.
Exactly.
It's important for us to feel like we're not alone, right?
Yes. Yeah, to embrace that, to understand, that's like our tagline is because there's a million ways to mom. There are a million ways to do it. Find the one that's right for you and just own it, embrace it, sit in it so you can really enjoy the ride.
And how did the two of you get together to have this conversation?
We met here.
I love that.
We actually met here, and just to go along with what Orly's saying, you know, there's so many different ways to mom. And I remember talking to Orly about how she's a working mom, but she also is with her kids part-time, and I wanted to know, like, how do you do it all? And so I think that as soon as I talked to her about that, it made me feel good about the kind of mom that I am, because it almost feels like if you don't fit this box or that box, you're not really doing the right thing when it's so personal.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know I'm a dad here, but dads can learn from this podcast as well. And I really appreciate getting more insight into momhood as well. Now, one of the things that I do enjoy is the fact that you guys talk about common beliefs about being a mom. Common beliefs that aren't really true in many, many cases. One of which is that when you become a mom, you got to change who you are as a person. And Orly, this kind of drove you nuts for a while to the point where you kind of delayed having kids, right?
Yeah.
Because of this.
Yeah, there are certain characteristics about myself that I did not think were changeable. Turns out I was right, they are not. But they didn't need to be changeable. They didn't need to be. I can be really selfish. I take care of myself and I make sure that Orly comes first and I get what I need. I am really social. I want to be social. I'm a workaholic. I love my work. But when you become a mom, it's like those things need to go away. You need to just love every moment of this. You know, you need to feel all these specific ways, and it's like everything gets shaved off until you fit here. And I just didn't think I could.
And you were right.
But
and
I don't
Brandi,
need to.
you didn't have to give up who you were either when you became a mom.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I really love being a mom, and I think that's what's fun about doing these interviews with these celebrity guests, these experts, is you really find out that however you are as a person, that's what kind of mom you can be. That's the lens that you can see motherhood through.
Yeah.
You don't have to change who you are, and you can just embrace that. And as soon as you have conviction in that, you feel free. You're like, this is the kind of mom that I am. I'm the same person I was before, but this is how I mom.
And you don't always have to love every single thing that your child has done. It's okay to get upset. It's okay to say, that's not okay, you know, but a lot of times I think we see these moms at schools that just, they seem perfect. And you think, well, gosh, I could never be that person. And it starts to make you feel, well, a little bit bad.
Yeah.
Orly, one of the things that you talk about all the time, and you say it to me too, stop with this mom guilt. It's not real.
Yes, let
Please
it
explain
go.
that.
So this is the way that we feel about it. Mom guilt is a myth. It's just not real. It is so specific to each of us individually and our own personal stuff. Like, I have zero guilt around work because my mom was a working mom. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was cool. I admired her. So when I'm at work, I don't suffer from that guilt at all. But someone else does. And that, to me, signals that it's not real. It's just our own. The emotions are real, but we're not doing anything wrong. And so for us, what we've realized is if you can give yourself one very simple question when you feel guilty, say, are my kids okay? Like, are they okay? Are they happy?
Right.
In this moment, right now, right? I'm at work, they're at school. They're having a blast. They'd rather be where they are than with me. So then it's my own emotion to work through. My kids are fine. There's nothing to feel guilty about.
And it's also important to separate your story from someone else's story because we see the way that we parent so differently, you know? And I think it's important that we share these stories, that moms share how they mom. And it's okay if you love to get on the floor and cuddle with your kids and, you know, go all in. It's okay if you want to work part-time, full-time, and to have those varieties. There's such a huge spectrum of motherhood.
It's so true. And Brandi, I know speaking of mom guilt, and you were able to release your mom guilt when you first took your first trip, away from your kids.
I was so guilty to share this. So when I was in Mommy and Me, Sonny was barely 4 months. So he hasn't even reached that 4th trimester. You know, we're still in this like really yummy, juicy, like honeymoon stage of motherhood. And I had this really amazing opportunity in New York for work, which fuels my soul and fuels my heart. And really, you know, a happy mama is a happy baby. And it's hard to kind of remember that when you share with your friends and Mommy and Me that you're leaving on a trip. You're leaving for 4 days away from your baby. And I had all these fears and I had all this mom guilt. Like, is my baby going to remember me? You know, if I'm away from my baby, what's going to happen to him and myself? And I talked to Orly, and that's what I've learned from her so much, is that it's okay. You know, you showing that you can pursue your dreams is teaching your children that they can do the same.
Right.
And also my parents flew in from Arizona, and that bond that they had, I almost started, you know, kind of changing the narrative. Like, this is a chance for Grandma and Grandpa, Lo and Baba, to really, you know, bond with their grandkids. And it's my chance to be a great mom. And as soon as I kind of let go of that guilt, I realized that these are just like things that other people were projecting on me. This isn't how I'm experiencing life. This isn't really how I feel. And I know that I'm a great mom.
And you started traveling every weekend.
And now I'm out of here.
No, but it's so wonderful, the things that we can all learn from one another if we just stop judging and start listening. It's so important. And there's a piece of advice that you receive. You say the best piece of advice that you've ever received in your podcast, which, by the way, is a little bit controversial. I read it and said, Orly Shani, you got to explain this one, honey. So an expert came on your show, and she said we should stop doing so much with our kids and for our kids.
Yes.
What?
It was amazing. So Dr. Zolana, she's a behavioral scientist, and she has a whole book about how to raise resilient children. Create children that can go off in the world without us and live a productive, independent life. And she said you should do less for them and do less with them.
That's the one that got me.
Yes.
That's the one that got me when I was reading this. I was like, with them?
They should be their own independent beings, off doing their own thing. If you are trying to fill every minute of their day with activities, they don't have the independence and the space to create their own. It's good for them to go off. Another thing that I thought was fascinating is the idea that if you tell them, like, as long as you're happy, I'm happy. They're like, that pressure for your happiness to rest on your child's shoulders is too much. You make yourself happy, do your own thing, and let them live their life. Take care of them, of course, but some space.
Well, what if I just want to fill their whole day just kissing them and hugging them? Is that too much?
I got some work to do, Dad.
Alexandra says, Mommy, stop kissing me so much.
I mean, my son is 16, and I'm like glued to him, and he's like, Dad, come on, give me some space.
A little space, Dad.
We've had other experts on the show, from like an HR human resources expert that literally walks moms through, how do you get back into the workforce? What do you put on your resume if you've been a stay-at-home mom? We've talked to the behavioral scientists, wellness experts, celebrity moms from Ali Landry, October Gonzalez, Kelly LeVac, who's a mom here. And it's so great how much value we're getting from these conversations with moms and just hearing their own personal journey.
It's so good.
You guys, I love moms, and I love moms.
Thank you for
Moms
listening to
rule.
our
Hey, what's next?
podcast.
Dadhood. You got to come up with a plan.
Well, yeah.
You guys, well,
It's a
your
follow-up.
spare time.
It's a spin-off.
You can
Come on,
download
Orly.
new episodes of Momhood every Wednesday wherever podcasts are available. And you can also join in the Momhood conversation on Facebook and on Instagram.
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Coming up next, somebody else that's awesome. That's LZ, mixing and matching prints. What? Come on back.
Thank you, John.
I don't know how to do it.
That was great. I'm happy